Hi, everyone. This is Mindy from Temples of Jesus channel. Happy Sabbath. I hope it was a wonderful day thus far. I just posted a video of my reading First Nephi chapters 14 and 15. So now we're going to start reading 16 and see how far we can get for another video. It's going to be a busy week this week, and so I want to be sure to have some content out there. I also took a break for a few minutes to go spend some quality time with my family. I asked my husband to go outside with me for a few minutes because I love clouds, and it looked like there was some pretty clouds out there. So the three kiddos and I went out for probably 20 minutes or so, and I realized I haven't been watering my roses or my two tomato plants, and so I did that as well. Um, so let me share my screen. If you are new to the channel or this is the first time you're watching, welcome. Everyone is welcome here with loving kindness. Please comment, subscribe, share, like. Like, okay. Subscribe, like, comment, and share if you think others would enjoy any of this content of reading the Book of Mormon. I will be doing other things that I want to share with you about updates from this week, as I mentioned in my last video, miracles of God, and just some other things, and then also start diving into different topics. But for right now, wanting to get a bit more caught up on reading of the Book of Mormon through the rest of the year. So that's the focus for today. So I just wanted to share my screen of, let's share that screen. Here is just a picture of what obviously just a small piece of the sky looked like. Very beautiful. I love when there is, and pictures just don't do it justice, but the different really clear blues that are there, but then with the very white, I don't want to call them caps, but like tops, and then various degrees or shades of the grays there. And so if you could just imagine like this sort of cloudage, but that goes all around and further, and then certain parts of the sky looked even more potentially for storm-like behavior, which we probably won't get a storm, but I am always praying for a storm. Um, and so that's what I was out doing between the last video and this video. And then I think I need to wrap it up for this video because we have a special music event to go to. I'm going to take the two older kids, my 9 and 7-year-old, with some dear friends, and then go to bed because I've got a really busy week ahead, lots of things going on, and maybe I'll be able to update you on just the great things that are going on. Not tonight, probably maybe tomorrow morning before, if I get ready in time, ahead of time for work or something, or at lunchtime. Okay, so let's get started. We are going to be reading today. I'm sorry I keep touching my nose. It's like, it's just itchy for some, I know that's probably TMI, like, gross. I need to just edit that out, but you know I won't. Where is, oh, I guess we're sharing the screen that I am on to then pull up. You know, I realized on my last video, I'm going to have to check it because I didn't mark that option of share computer video. Oh, I hope that didn't matter. I don't think that matters. I think it's only if I am then like sharing a screen to play something that has audio for it to then pick up through this video. But I think my voice doesn't have to have that check button. So I'm probably in the clear. Okay, chapter 16. We did say a quick prayer for the last reading, even though this is still today. You may be watching it on a different day, and so I'll give us a prayer to help invite the Holy Ghost, if you don't mind. Our dear eternal Father in heaven, we are so grateful for this Sabbath day. We are grateful for the blessings of the Book of Mormon and for the opportunities for the different times and seasons that we read the Book of Mormon, how it's just so different and relevant to our current situation, whether it's just the emotions that we're pulling out or the doctrine that we're receiving or just insights or answers to prayers. So grateful for the Old Testament, the New Testament, the Doctrine and Covenants, the Pearl of Great Price, and the Book of Mormon, another testament of thy Son, Jesus Christ, in the Americas. And please help us that as we read, that we may feel the Spirit, that I will be able to stay focused on reading, and that it will in some way be a blessing for at least one person out there who may choose to watch this video. Please bless our prophet, President Russell M. Nelson, and our area and general and local authorities with righteousness and courage and strength. Bless those who are working on the temples, the construction, the designing of, the physical construction of, bless them with safety. And please bless each of these viewers who are choosing to participate in listening to or reading of thy holy word, that they and their families may be protected and blessed for their efforts, and that they may feel peace and that they are reaching for Jesus and doing things that are pleasing unto thee, no matter what stage of progression that we all may or may not be in. And we pray for again, for the Spirit to be with us. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen. I'm just going to keep that picture of the clouds up over there on that big screen. This is so pretty. Chapter 16, the wicked take the truth to be hard. Lehi's sons marry the daughters of Ishmael. The Liahona guides their course in the wilderness. Messages from the Lord are written on the Liahona from time to time. Ishmael dies. His family murmurs because of afflictions. About 600 to 592 BC. 1. And now it came to pass that after I, Nephi, had made an end of speaking to my brethren, behold, they said unto me, Thou hast declared unto us hard things, more than we are able to bear. And it came to pass that I said unto them that I knew that I had spoken hard things against the wicked according to the truth, and the righteous have I justified, and testified that they should be lifted up at the last day. Wherefore the guilty taketh the truth to be hard, for it cutteth them to the very center. And now, my brethren, if ye were righteous, and were willing to hearken to the truth, and give heed unto it, that ye might walk uprightly before God, then ye would not murmur because of the truth, and say, Thou speakest hard things unto us. And it came to pass that I, Nephi, did exhort my brethren, well, that's going to go well, exhort my brethren with all diligence to keep the commandments of the Lord. Verse 5, and it came to pass that they did humble themselves before the Lord, insomuch that I had joy and great hopes of them, that they would walk in the paths of righteousness. Now, all these things were said and done as my father dwelt in a tent in the valley which he called Lemuel. And it came to pass that I, Nephi, took one of the daughters of Ishmael to wife. Ooh la la. And also, my brethren took, I don't know why I said ooh la la, it's just like, whatever. And also, my brethren took of the daughters of Ishmael to wife. And also, Zoram took the eldest daughter of Ishmael to wife. But he's happy he came in the wilderness. And thus my father had fulfilled all the commandments of the Lord which had been given unto him. And also I, Nephi, had been blessed of the Lord exceedingly. And it came to pass that the voice of the Lord spake unto my father by night, and commanded him that on the morrow he should take his journey into the wilderness. So I guess we're not yet in the wilderness. Okay, 10. And it came to pass that as my father arose in the morning and went forth to the tent door, to his great astonishment he beheld upon the ground a round ball of curious workmanship, and it was of fine brass, and within the ball were two spindles, and the one pointed the way whither we should go into the wilderness. And it came to pass that we did gather together whatsoever things we should carry into the wilderness, and all the remainder of our provisions which the Lord had given unto us, and we did take seed of every kind that we might carry into the wilderness. And it came to pass that we did take our tents and depart into the wilderness across the river Laman. And it came to pass that we traveled for the space of 4 days, nearly a southeast direction. And we did pitch our tents again, and we did call the name of the place Shazar or Shazur. Shazer. And it came to pass that we did take our bows and our arrows and go forth into the wilderness to slay food for our families. And after we had slain food for our families, we did return again to our families in the wilderness to the place of Shazer. And we did go forth again in the wilderness, following the same direction, keeping in the most fertile parts of the wilderness, which were in the borders near the Red Sea. And it came to pass that we did travel for the space of many days, slaying food by the way with our bows and our arrows and our stones and our slings. And we did follow the directions of the ball, which led us in the more fertile parts of the wilderness. And 17. And after we had traveled for the space of many days, we did pitch our tents for the space of a time, that we might again rest ourselves and obtain food for our families. And it came to pass that as I, Nephi, went forth to slay food, behold, I did break my bow, which was made of fine steel. And after I did break my bow, behold, my brethren were angry with me because of the loss of my bow, for we did obtain no food. And it came to pass that we did return without food to our families. And being much fatigued because of their journeying, they did suffer much for the want of food. And it came to pass that Laman and Lemuel and the sons of Ishmael did begin to murmur exceedingly because of their sufferings and afflictions in the wilderness. And also my father began to murmur, oh geez. And also my father began to murmur against the Lord his God. Yea, and they were all exceedingly sorrowful. They were hangry, okay? Like, sorry, you know how that feels. Yea, and they were all exceedingly sorrowful, even that they did murmur against the Lord. 21. Now it came to pass that I, Nephi, having been afflicted with my brethren because of the loss of my bow, and their bows having lost their springs, it began to be exceedingly difficult, yea, insomuch that we could obtain no food. And it came to pass that I, Nephi, did speak much unto my brethren, because they had hardened their hearts again, even unto complaining against the Lord their God. And it came to pass that I, Nephi, did make out of wood a bow, and out of a straight stick an arrow. Wherefore I did arm myself with a bow and an arrow, with a sling, and with stones. And I said unto my father, whither shall I go to obtain food? It's a video. 24. And it came to pass that he did inquire of the Lord, for they had humbled themselves because of my words. For I did say many things unto them in the energy of my soul. And it came to pass that the voice of the Lord came unto my father, and he was truly chastened because of his murmuring against the Lord, insomuch that he was brought down into the depths of sorrow. And it came to pass that the voice of the Lord said unto him, look upon the ball, and behold the things which are written. And I had the most horrible thought pop into my head about what was written. I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. Um, um, look, look upon the ball, and behold the things which are written. And it came to pass that when my father beheld the things which were written upon the ball, he did fear and tremble exceedingly, and also my brethren and the sons of Ishmael and our wives. And it came to pass that I, Nephi, beheld the pointers which were in the ball, that they did work according to the faith and diligence and heed which we did give unto them. And I feel like there's a parallel there to, like, there's an application there for my life. Yes. And there was also written upon them a new writing, which was plain to be read, which did give us understanding concerning the ways of the Lord. And it was written and changed from time to time, according to the faith and diligence which we gave unto it. And thus we see that by small means the Lord can bring about great things. And it came to pass that I, Nephi, did go forth up into the top of the mountain, according to the directions which were given upon the wall. And it came to pass that I did slay wild beasts, insomuch that I did obtain food for our families. And I can only imagine like how much food they had to get for all those people. It's crazy. And it came to pass that I did return to our tents, bearing the beasts which I had slain. And now, when they beheld that I had obtained food, how great was their joy! And it came to pass that they did humble themselves before the Lord, and did give thanks unto him. And it came to pass that we did again take our journey, traveling nearly the same course as in the beginning. And after we had traveled for the space of many days, we did pitch our tents again, that we might tarry for the space of a time. And it came to pass that Ishmael died and was buried in the place which was called Nahom. And it came to pass that the daughters of Ishmael did mourn exceedingly because of the loss of their father and because of their afflictions in the wilderness. And they did murmur against my father because he had brought them out of the land of Jerusalem, saying, Our father is dead, yea, and we have wandered much in the wilderness, and we have suffered much affliction, hunger, thirst, and fatigue. And after all these sufferings, we must perish in the wilderness with hunger. And thus they did murmur against my father, and also against me, and they were desirous to return again to Jerusalem. I, dude, I wouldn't be able to survive that situation. Hmm, I would. I I'd be asking for priesthood blessings like every day, every morning. Just a reminder if you're struggling for things or just want to feel the love of God or extra direction, I really encourage anyone to seek from someone who you feel is righteous and in touch and someone you trust to ask them for a priesthood blessing, even if it's not for a specific purpose other than wanting to feel God's love, or if it is also for a specific person. Um, just wanted to share that, offer that up. Okay, hunger, thirst, and student. And so now we're in 36, I believe. We read 36. And thus they did murmur against my father and also against me, and they were desirous to return again to Jerusalem. I don't understand why they don't. Like, just go. And Laman said unto Lemuel and also unto the sons of Ishmael, Behold, let us slay our father and also our brother Nephi, who has taken it up upon him to be our ruler and our teacher, who are his elder brethren. Like, why don't they just go back? Because Nephi is their ruler? Like, are they under some sort of, I wonder if there's things like we just don't understand. Like, I don't know. My mind's going in weird places right now. Okay. 38. Now he says that the Lord has talked with him, and also that angels have ministered unto him. But behold, we know that he lies unto us, and he tells us these things, and he worketh many things by his cunning arts, that he may deceive our eyes, thinking, perhaps, that he may lead us away into some strange wilderness. And after he has led us away, he has thought to make himself a king and a ruler over us, that he may do with us according to his will and pleasure. And after this manner did my brother Laman stir their hearts to anger. And it came to pass that the Lord was with us, yea, even, okay, and it came to pass that the Lord was with us, yea, even the voice of the Lord came and did speak many words unto them, and did chasten them exceedingly. And after they were chastened by the voice of the Lord, they did turn away their anger and did repent of their sins, insomuch that the Lord did bless us again with food, that we did not perish. And it came to pass that the Lord was with us, even the voice of the Lord came and did speak many words unto them. I wonder if that's something where they all like heard it in their mind, or if it was something audible where each of them were hearing the Lord's voice simultaneously, with the same message. It doesn't matter to our salvation. I just was curious. First Nephi chapter 17. Nephi is commanded to build a ship. His brethren oppose him. He exhorts them by recounting the history of God's dealings with Israel. Nephi is filled with the power of God. His brethren are forbidden to touch him, lest they wither as a dried reed. About 592 to 591 BC. So they've been out away from Jerusalem for 8 to 9 years now. And it came to pass that we did again take our journey in the wilderness, and we did travel nearly eastward from that time forth. And we did travel and wade through much affliction in the wilderness. And our women did bear children in the wilderness. And so great were the blessings of the Lord upon us, that while we did live upon raw meat in the wilderness, our women did give plenty of suck for their children, and were strong, yea, even like unto the men. And they began to bear their journeyings without murmurings. That's awesome. And thus we see that the commandments of God must be fulfilled. And if it so be that the children of men keep the commandments of God, he doth nourish them and strengthen them and provide means whereby they can accomplish the things which he commanded them. Wherefore he did provide means for us while we did sojourn in the wilderness. Yes, so good. And we did sojourn for the space of many years, yea, even 8 years in the wilderness. Verse 5. And we did come to the land which we called bountiful, because of its much fruit and also wild honey. That's good stuff. And all these things were prepared of the Lord that we might not perish. And we beheld the sea, which we called Iriantum, which being interpreted is many waters. And it came to pass that we did pitch our tents by the seashore, and notwithstanding we had suffered many afflictions and much difficulty, yea, even so much that we cannot write them all, we were exceedingly joyful when we came to the seashore, and we called the place Bountiful, because of its much fruit and honey. And it came to pass that after I, Nephi, had been in the land of Bountiful for the space of many days, the voice of the Lord came unto me, saying, Arise, and get thee into the mountain. And it came to pass that I arose and went up into the mountain and cried unto the Lord. 8. And it came to pass that the Lord spake unto me, saying, Thou shalt construct a ship after the manner which I shall show thee, that I may carry thy people across these waters. And I said, Lord, whither shall I go that I may find ore to molten, that I may make tools to construct the ship after the manner which thou hast shown unto me? And it came to pass that the Lord told me whither I should go to find ore, that I might make tools. And it came to pass that I, Nephi, did make a bellows wherewith to blow the fire of the skins of beasts. And after I had made a bellows, that I might have wherewith to blow the fire, I did smite 2 stones together that I might make fire. Verse 12. For the Lord had not hitherto suffered that we should make much fire as we journeyed in the wilderness. For he said, I will make thy food become sweet, that ye cook it not. And I will also be your light in the wilderness, and I will prepare the way before you. If it so be that ye shall keep my commandments. Wherefore, inasmuch as ye shall keep my commandments, ye shall be led towards the promised land, and ye shall know that it is by me that ye are led. That verse makes me think of like our patriarchal blessings for some reason, perhaps in mine, but I would think in yours as well if you have one, that it gives these beautiful blessings, specific depending on your blessing, like specific or maybe specific, but we don't understand what it means yet. But then, based on your faithfulness, based on keeping the commandments, based on not going astray, just kind of like you will have these things. And it feels like this is a testament to that as well, but for our own personal, some of our own personal blessings that we have through our patriarchal blessings. They are such a gift. 14, yea, and the Lord said also that after ye have arrived in the promised land, ye shall know that I, the Lord, am God, and that I, the Lord, did deliver you from destruction, yea, that I did bring you out of the land of Jerusalem. I think it's important to remember that when we're going through hardships and trials, which I'm sorry, it's like our whole life is just like hardships and trials. That after we've arrived through that trial and have arrived to our promised land of the resolution of that, or the healing of that, or the answer of that, or the peace, comfort, fill in the blank. We have arrived to that promised land for that specific scenario, whether it be the smallest of things or the largest, feeling most important of things, that we should then absolutely know and testify and glory and praise and acknowledge that the Lord is our God and that the Lord is the one who delivered us from that destruction. There were not other coincidences that were taking place. The ways in which that happened was not just like time resolving itself or, oh, it just so happens that this thing with that thing. No, God is interweaved, woven into just every little piece of our lives. So I would suspect that you do this already. And I had that thought of this is really nice and applicable to daily, weekly, monthly life things that when we do as the Lord has asked us to do, and after we have gotten to that promised land, that we know and we acknowledge and we praise and share that that was God, and then start to become comfortable with that. I try and share it with strangers or people at work without getting to, inappropriate ways to share, all praise to God, or that was such a blessing, or, Jesus is great, or that was something I had prayed for, not to the point of being overbearing. Um, and of course, not in like big, with, like discretion, right? But I do it at home as well. And I'm just saying I because it's my experience, right? And so I'm just trying to talk about my experiences that have helped throughout the day with my children and my husband for a year now. I will say over and over again, God is good, or something happened, and right away I will share that was God blessing us. And then, if needed, we'll even talk about, like, well, how was that God blessing us? Um, Moving on. Yea, that I did bring you out of the land of Jerusalem. We're in verse 15. Wherefore I, Nephi, did strive to keep the commandments of the Lord, and I did exhort my brethren to faithfulness and diligence. And it came to pass that I did make tools of the ore which I did molten out of the rock. And when my brethren saw that I was about to build a ship, they began to murmur against me, saying, Our brother is a fool, for he thinketh that he can build a ship. Yea, and he also thinketh that he can cross these great waters. And thus my brethren did complain against me, and were desirous that they might not labor, for they did, sorry, are they just like, okay, they're probably not just like hanging around because they have to get food and like they have kids and stuff. But I just had this thought of like, uh, wouldn't you kind of want to work if you're just like out there? But I'm sure they did have plenty of work. Squirrel. And thus my brethren did complain against me, and were desirous that they might not labor, for they did not believe that I could build a ship, neither would they believe that I was instructed of the Lord. And how forgetful. Remember, remember, remember. And now it came to pass that I, Nephi, was exceedingly sorrowful because of the hardness of their hearts. And now when they saw that I began to be sorrowful, they were glad in their hearts. These are toxic individuals for sure. I began to be sorrowful. They were glad in their that when they saw that I was sorrowful, they were happy because they saw that I was sad. Insomuch that they did rejoice over me, saying, We knew that ye could not construct a ship, for we knew that ye were lacking in judgment, wherefore thou canst not accomplish so great a work. Ugh, sorry. And thou art like unto our father, led away by the foolish imaginations of his heart. Yea, he hath led us out of the land of Jerusalem, and we have wandered in the wilderness for these many years, and our women have toiled, being big with child, and they have borne children in the wilderness, and suffered all things, save it were death. And it would have been better that they had died before they came out of Jerusalem than to have suffered these afflictions. But remember earlier when it said that they were being so blessed and the women were strong as the men with the sweet meat and, having enough, um, you know, breast milk for nursing their children. And so, yeah, anyways. Verse 21, Behold, these many years we have suffered in the wilderness, which time we might have enjoyed our possessions and the land of our inheritance, yea, and we might have been happy. And we know that the people who were in the land of Jerusalem were a righteous people, for they kept the statutes and judgments of the Lord and all his commandments. And the adversary is tricky, isn't he? And all his commandments according to the law of Moses. Wherefore we know that they are a righteous people, and our Father hath judged them, and hath led us away because we would hearken unto his words. Yea, and our brothers like unto him. And after this manner of language did my brethren murmur and complain against us. 23, And it came to pass that I, Nephi, spake unto them, saying, Do ye believe that our fathers, who were the children of Israel, would have been led away out of the hands of the Egyptians, if they had not hearkened unto the word of the Lord? Yea, do ye suppose that they would have been led out of bondage, if the Lord had not commanded Moses that he should lead them out of bondage? Now ye know that the children of Israel were in bondage, and ye know that they were laden with tasks, which were grievous to be borne. Wherefore ye know that it must needs be a good thing for them that they should be brought out of bondage. Now ye know that Moses was commanded of the Lord to do that great work. And ye know that by his word the waters of the Red Sea were divided hither and thither, and they passed through on dry land. 27, But ye know that the Egyptians were drowned in the Red Sea, who were the armies of Pharaoh. And ye also know that they were fed with manna in the wilderness. Yea, and ye also know that Moses, by his word, according to the power of God which was in him, smote the rock, and there came forth water, that the children of Israel might quench their thirst. And notwithstanding they being led, the Lord their God, their Redeemer, going before them, leading them by day, and giving light unto them by night, and doing all things for them which were expedient for man to receive, they hardened their hearts and blinded their minds, and reviled against Moses and against the true and living God. 31. And it came to pass that according to his word he did destroy them, and according to his word he did lead them, and according to his word he did do all things for them. And there was not anything done save it were by his word. And after they had crossed the river Jordan, he did make them mighty into the driving out of the children of the land, yea, unto the scattering them to destruction. I started thinking about the food I was going to eat after this video. They came to us to destroy them in accordance with yes. The spirit of they harden their hearts, blind their minds. Yeah. And and after they had crossed the river Jordan, he did make them mighty unto the driving out of the children of the land, yea, unto the scattering them to destruction. And now do ye suppose that the children of this land, who were in the land of promise, who were driven out by our fathers, do ye suppose that they were righteous? Behold, I say unto you, nay. Do ye suppose that our fathers would have been more choice than they if they had been righteous? Do ye suppose that our fathers would have been more choice than they if they had been righteous? I say unto you, nay. I'm not understanding that verse. Behold, the Lord esteemeth all flesh in one. He that is righteous is favored of God. But behold, this people had rejected every word of God, and they were ripe in iniquity, and the fullness of the wrath of God was upon them. And the Lord did curse the land against them, and bless it unto our fathers. He did he did curse it against them unto their destruction, and he did bless it unto our fathers unto their obtaining power over it. Behold, the Lord hath created the earth, that it should be inhabited, and he hath created his children, that they should possess it. And he raiseth up a righteous nation, and destroyeth the nations of the wicked. And he leadeth away the righteous into precious lands. And the wicked he destroyeth, and curseth the land unto them for their sakes. He ruleth high in the heavens, for it is his throne, and this earth is his footstool. And he loveth those who will have him to be their God. We want him to be our God, and he loveth us for that. Behold, he loved our fathers, and he covenanted with them, yea, even Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And he remembered the covenants which he had made, wherefore he did bring them out of the land of Egypt. And he did straighten them in the wilderness with his rod, for they hardened their hearts, even as ye have. And the Lord straitened them because of their iniquity. He sent fiery flying serpents among them. And after they were bitten, he prepared a way that they might be healed. And the labor which they had to perform was to look. And because of the simpleness of the way, or the easiness of it, there were many who perished. And they did harden their hearts from time to time, and they did revile against Moses and also against God. Nevertheless, ye know that they were led forth by his matchless power unto the land of promise. And now, after all these things, the time has come that they have become wicked, yea, nearly unto ripeness. And I know not, but they are at this day about to be destroyed. For I know that the day must surely come that they must be destroyed, save a few only who shall be led away into captivity. Wherefore the Lord commanded my father that he should depart into the wilderness. And the Jews also sought to take away his life. Yea, and ye also have sought to take away his life. Wherefore ye are murderers in your hearts, and ye are like unto them. Ye are swift to do iniquity, but slow to remember the Lord your God. Ye have seen an angel, and he spoke unto you. Yea, ye have heard his voice from time to time, and he hath spoken unto you in a still small voice, but ye were past feeling, that ye could not feel his words. Wherefore he hath spoken unto you like unto the voice of thunder, which did cause the earth to shake, as if it were to divide asunder. And ye also know that by the power of his almighty word he can cause the earth that it shall pass away. Yea, and ye know that by his word he can cause the rough places to be made smooth, and smooth places shall be broken up. Oh, then, why is it that ye can be so hard in your hearts? Man, why is it? Why is it so hard? 47. Behold, my soul is rent and anguish because of you, and my heart is pained. I fear lest ye shall be cast off forever. Behold, I am full of the Spirit of God, insomuch that my frame has no strength. And now it came to pass that when I had spoken these words, they were angry with me, and were desirous to throw me into the depths of the sea. And as they came forth to lay their hands upon me, I spake unto them, saying, In the name of the Almighty God, I command you that ye touch me not, for I am filled with the power of God, even unto the consuming of my flesh. And whoso shall lay his hands upon me shall wither, even as a dried reed, and he shall be as naught before the power of God, for God shall smite him. And it came to pass that I, Nephi, said unto them that they should murmur no more against their father, neither should they withhold their labor from me. For God had commanded me that I should build a ship. And I said unto them, If God had commanded me to do all things, I could do them. If he should command me that I should say unto this water, Be thou earth, it should be earth. And if I should say it, it would be done. And now if the Lord has such great power and has wrought so many miracles among the children of men, how is it that he cannot instruct me that I should build a ship? And it came to pass that I, Nephi, said many things unto my brethren, insomuch that they were confounded and could not contend against me. Neither durst they lay their hands upon me, nor touch me with their fingers, even for the space of many days. Now they durst not do this, lest they should wither before me. So powerful was the Spirit of God, and thus it had wrought upon them. And it came to pass, we're in 53. And it came to pass that the Lord said unto me, Stretch forth thine hand again unto thy brethren, and they shall not wither before thee, but I will shock them, saith the Lord. And this will I do, that they may know that I am the Lord their God. And it came to pass that I stretched forth my hand unto my brethren, and they did not wither before me, but the Lord did shake them, even according to the word which he had spoken. And now they said, We know of a surety that the Lord is with thee, for we know that it is the power of the Lord that has shaken us. And they fell down before me and were about to worship me, but I would not suffer them, saying, I am thy brother, yea, even thy younger brother. Wherefore worship the Lord thy God, and honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long in the land which the Lord thy God shall give thee. Have a wonderful night. I will talk to you later. Please subscribe, comment, like, share, and have a blessed day.